I was, in a way. I went to church, and I did the church plays and the musical and all that stuff. And then when I got to about 12 or 13, me and my family stopped going because sports ended up being on the weekends and on Sundays, and that kind of became the thing. And then I rededicated my life right after I got drafted into professional baseball, which was when I was, I believe, 20 years old. And then rededicated my life. Then when I met my wife, and she led me along with her family back to the Lord. I had a lot of bad habits that I had before rededicating my life. Obviously, I had some language problems with using some curse words that I knew I shouldn't. But, I just kind of got into that thinking that, it's real, the comic was, what would Jesus do? And I always thought, if he was sitting right next to me, would it be okay for me to do? Would I be comfortable with it? And that's kind of just my guideline I started using, and it changed my life really quick because I didn't want to be a hypocrite. I didn't want to say I was a Christian and then do something or say something that somebody else could look at me and go, he's not a Christian. He's supposed to be believing in this or listening to these 10 commandments, and he's not doing it. So I didn't want to be like that. So there's a lot of bad habits that I was able to not do anymore once I rededicated. I've been really blessed by God with my life and how it's been able to kind of play out with, being able to get drafted, play minor league baseball, then make it to the major leagues. But I think the toughest time is when you're not performing well during a stretch where, a slump or whatnot, and, there's millions of people watching on TV and stuff, so you make a mistake, it's a big deal. And I think, I just kind of trusted in Him, knowing that it's never too bad, when there's people out there, suffering, people not getting food or drink, and I'm worried about how many hits I'm getting. It's never as bad as it seems, and I think, trusting that God will always, He says in the Bible that He'll never give us anything we can't handle, and He never has. So anything that comes along, I know that it's for a reason, and that He wants me to be a leader and be a follower and the example of that moment. It was. I don't think it was easy or hard. I think it was kind of right in the middle. I think when you're kind of famous and you make money and people kind of look at you in a different way, that was kind of one thing you had to learn to handle. I think I was never a guy that would like to party or drink alcohol or mess around outside the baseball field. I was really concentrated on my whole life and being really good at this game. So I never really had the distractions of that, and I always felt like, for me, I wanted to completely avoid any situation that was going to put me in a bad spot. In a bad spot, especially with cameras in your phones and video and all that stuff, and anybody can catch you doing something. So I stayed away from anything. I stayed in my hotel room. I didn't go out, and that was always nice because I didn't have that distraction. Plus, being married, even before I made it to the big leagues, my wife and I had such a close relationship that there was never going to be a question whether I was going to go out and go to a club or a bar or something like that, because I knew that as a husband that God wanted me to honor my wife at all times, and that was so it wasn't really that hard, but I knew what I wanted to be and who I wanted to represent, and that was Jesus, and I knew that a lot of the things that that was out there was not going to be good for me. No, I never. I don't like to complain. I think that God has given me so many blessings that I don't deserve. He dies for my sins. He gives me a wonderful wife, wonderful kids, a fun life, being able to get to play baseball for a living. And I feel like if there's if I complain or why haven't you done this, why haven't you done that, it's almost like, well, thanks for all the good stuff, but I really want one more thing. I feel that's kind of disrespectful to the God who gave me everything I have, that I really enjoy. I love my life, and so I'm not ever going to complain about why haven't I got this or why haven't I got that from God, because I've already gotten way more than I ever deserve.